G'day guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you some charts why crypto is about to absolutely explode and why we're about to see one of the biggest alt seasons we've ever seen, and the majority of people are unprepared for the move that we're about to see in crypto. So if you like the sounds of that, make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get into it. We're going to start off by taking a look at the total market cap chart for crypto. Well, what can we see? We can actually see that we're actually repeating a very similar pattern. So right now, we've currently broken above the previous all-time highs here at around 3 trillion. And what we've done is we've now got above that level and we're now flipping that as support. Well, let's take a look what happened in our previous cycle when we got above that. We actually saw a very interesting pattern. So the last time we got above the previous all-time high, we came up, had a correction and flipped it into support, and then we got a massive move to the upside, and this is when altcoins absolutely exploded and went into price discovery. And the people who had invested in altcoins down here, actually a lot of them became multi-millionaires on this big move to the upside. And I believe that we're actually seeing the exact same pattern play out once again, where we've now just flipped the previous all-time highs into a level support and came down and retested that as a new floor, and we're now getting ready to absolutely explode into price discovery. Now guys, taking a look at the total 2 chart. So this chart excludes Bitcoin and Ethereum and just adds up the market cap of the rest of the altcoins. So while Bitcoin and the total market cap chart have already gone into price discovery, what we can see is that the total 2 chart, when you actually get rid of Bitcoin and Ethereum, it's not actually gone into price discovery yet. And all we've done is we've actually come up to retest the previous highs. And now we're actually bouncing off of the key level of support. Now this was a very key level back here in April of 2022. It also acted as resistance in March of 2024. But once we were able to get above that key level and flip it into support, it's now a floor of support below us that's going to be able to give us the momentum to get that next leg high into the altcoins. And I truly believe that it's once we can actually get above this level here and hold it as support is when altcoins are going to absolutely skyrocket and make people millionaires this cycle. Now, when we look at the total 2 chart for all of the altcoins, when we pull a Fibonacci extension, it actually gives us some price targets for the next cycle. Now, a full Fibonacci extension actually gives us a price target of around $5 to $6 trillion. So I'm actually going to draw a blue box here. Now, this is the zone where I would be expecting the total market cap for our altcoins to top out at. Now, taking a look at our previous cycles, what I'm actually expecting is to see some sort of double top pattern play out. Like in our previous cycle where we had this top here, then we had a mid-cycle correction followed by a final push up. I would actually be expecting something very similar to play out once again. So in this cycle, I'd be looking for a massive push up into price discovery, then a correction of maybe 50% before we get that final push higher for all of our altcoins. So the next chart I want to take a look at is actually going to be the Bitcoin dominance chart. So with the Bitcoin dominance, if I zoom out, we can see that we've actually had a descending level of resistance. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with this chart, what this chart shows is the total percentage of a market cap that Bitcoin takes up over the total crypto market. So when we actually see these big drops in dominance, this is when money is actually flowing into the altcoins, and altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin. And this is typically when we see our alt seasons. So it's in these big moves here and these big drops in dominance, which is when altcoins outperform and make millionaires in these cycles. And that's one of the things we've been waiting on. Well, when we take a look at this chart, I actually believe that the Bitcoin dominance has topped out because we have this descending level of resistance here, which has been a very key level in the dominance, and we've now hit that level and topped out. And if we actually zoom in on this chart a little bit, what we can see is we had this very distinct trend line which the Bitcoin dominance was following, And what's happened now is instead of bouncing off of this trend line like we've constantly done, we've now broke below that and put in our first higher low, which is setting us up to get that bigger move down in the Bitcoin dominance. And as we get this big move down here, this is when the money flows into altcoins and new coins like XRP, Cardano, Algorand, HBAR, Aerodrome, all of these altcoins that we're invested in are going to absolutely explode in price as the money flows into these altcoins. And the best chart to look at for this is the Bitcoin dominance, because you have to remember that Bitcoin runs first, and it's only once Bitcoin has its big move, the altcoins then follow afterwards. And we're still very high in the Bitcoin dominance. And my target for this would be for us to come all the way down to the bottom of this low here at around 38%. And if this happens, the altcoins are going to go absolutely crazy. And what we could even potentially see this cycle is with all the bullish news going on with Trump being pro-crypto and the Bitcoin ETF, Ethereum, and probably even the XRP ETF getting approved. With all of this bullish news, it wouldn't actually surprise me if we actually break this level and put in a lower low for the Bitcoin dominance, where the altcoins run even more, and we get that true super cycle that we've all been waiting for. And another great chart to look at that actually shows this as well is actually the Ethereum Bitcoin pair. So what this chart shows is it actually shows Ethereum's performance compared to Bitcoin. So when this chart is going up, it means that Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin in terms of gains. Well, what have we seen? Well, we've actually kind of seen the exact same chart pattern repeating itself. So if we have a look for a sec, we can see this chart pattern here. So we come up and we have a double top followed by a correction and then a consolidation period. Well, let's have a look here. We have the same pattern. So we've got our double top here followed by a correction and then our consolidation period. Well, we're kind of seeing the exact same pattern, but it hasn't been as volatile. So you could still picture this as kind of a double top here, a correction. Well, this move right here, I would say is equivalent to this move here and also this move here. So we're kind of repeating the exact same pattern. The only difference was the spike to the upside was a little bit less volatile. But it's at this point here where we actually get a reversal in the Ethereum Bitcoin pair, where Ethereum actually starts to outperform Bitcoin massively. And normally when the Bitcoin dominance reverses, normally Ethereum will lead that charge and start outperforming, and the money will flow from Ethereum to your large caps and then your medium and small caps, and that's when you get the true alt season mania. And I believe that we're literally at this point in time here, and this point in time here where Ethereum is actually going to reverse against Bitcoin, because we've come down to a key level of support and we're going to start to see these alts massively outperform to the upside. Now, as you guys know, Bitcoin is the market mover, and for the altcoins to show strength, Bitcoin first needs to show strength as well and to go into price discovery. Well, what am I looking at for Bitcoin? Well, if you guys have been following my channel, you would actually know that we called the bottom for Bitcoin exactly, and all the people that took advantage of that trade made a lot of money. But where am I expecting us to go from here? Well, we had this ascending level of support, which was a very key trend line here where the price of Bitcoin was bouncing off of. But once we actually broke below that level, we got a big dump. And when we got below that line, it actually turned into a ceiling of resistance, which we haven't been able to get above. So for me to really be bullish on Bitcoin, I really want to see the price of Bitcoin get above this level here and hold it as support so that we can then go into price discovery. So that's what I would be looking for. And until we can actually get above this trend line here, I'm not going to be too bullish on Bitcoin. But I do think it is a high likelihood that we have bottomed here. And the reason I say that is we printed a bullish divergence where the price action was going lower, but our momentum waves were actually getting higher. And this indicates a loss of momentum in the trend, and this is how we were able to actually call this at the bottom and take that trade to the upside. Now, there are a couple things on the chart that do worry me, and One of those things is we are actually seeing a red dot starting to print on the daily chart. And we do kind of have a bit of a bearish divergence, which is the opposite of a bullish divergence, where we technically made a higher high, but our momentum waves have actually made a lower low. Now, this is a very bearish sign on the charts, and it wouldn't surprise me if we do get one more final pushback to that level before we get a bounce. However, because of all the bullish news in the market, if we can get above this trend line here, which is the ascending level of resistance, then I would flip from bullish and expect us to put in a higher high. But unless we can actually get above this line right here, if I can draw it, then I am going to be a bit more bearish because of that bearish divergence. So we're really waiting to see what Bitcoin can do. If it can get above this level, then I'm going to flip to bullish. But if we actually come out and we actually reject off of that level again, then I would be expecting a bounce back down to around that $90,000 to $92,000 level for Bitcoin. So that's pretty much all I've got for today's video. If you liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you'd like some one-on-one coaching with me, you can message me on either Instagram or Twitter. And if you'd like to purchase my top 10 picks for 2025, the coins that I believe are going to be the most profitable and make you the most amount of money, you can just click on the link in the description. And if you'd like to sign up for a reliable exchange, you could get started with Binance and get 20% off all trading fees. And for Australian users, you can sign up for CoinSpot and get a $10 bonus when you get started. But besides that, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.
Bitcoin, please go to moon. Stop going sideways now. Don't ever say we going down to 1K, but Mr. Novogratz say we have bottomed out, Novogratz is bullish. Bottomed out, don't ever rise is deadish.
Bearish target, 13 times there.
Novogratz is bullish.
Bitcoin could be at 40,000.
Let us go to